I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. Today I'm going to be looking over some of the XRP charts as well as the XRP Breakout chart. There's a couple interesting things that I'd like to show you. Now, from the original timeline that I established, which was mid to late April, was when we would see the flash crash. We are now in the 1st of May, and we still have not seen the flash crash. But I want to show you some things on the charts. In as strange or as crazy as it might sound, I still believe that this is coming. I just think that my timing was off. But at the same time, you need to consider that I could be completely wrong about the flash crash part of the overall theory. As far as the XRP breakout chart is concerned, I have 100% faith that that is going to play true just as it has the last 4 times that it formed on the chart. And in full disclosure, there's another thing I'd like to tell you. As of today, May 1st, I am no longer trading an institutional trading account. The trading firm that I was trading under changed the way their platform trades cryptocurrencies, as well as the cryptocurrencies traded and the leverage ranges that you can use, as well as their policy. So there was some changes in there that just aren't compatible with the way I trade. And since 98% of my trading is crypto, occasionally I will trade precious metals or the NASDAQ, but crypto is my main focus in trading. These changes simply aren't going to work for me. So as of this morning, I relinquished my account. And from here on out, I will just be trading my own personal account on BitUnix. I have a link in the More tab if you'd like to sign up and check it out. But I also have no doubt whatsoever that I can pass another exam and get another institutional trading account with a different firm that's more favorable to trading crypto. But unfortunately at this time, I just do not have the time to do it. I've been focused so much on my grafting trading setups. I have 5 basic setups that I've been back testing, paper trading, just going back on the charts for miles, trying to find these setups to just see how they would have played out, see what would have happened. And it's taken a lot of time, but I'll tell you, it's looking really good. So I'm going to keep focused on this for the time being because this is something that I want to get done. Eventually, I want to get to the point to where I can show people how to do this, and it will be absolutely free. But I am also starting to put on some live trades now, which I haven't done since well before I took off for the first 3 weeks of April because I've been so hyper-focused on seeing if I can get this thing done. And I knew going into it that it was going to be a long project. But I just wanted everybody to know that. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into this. So this is the XRP 1-hour chart. There's a couple things I wanted to show you here. This is the 200-day moving average. You can see right here. We dropped below it, traded up above it just a little, and have now again fallen below. These weak dojis right here, in my opinion, are showing weakness, and they look like they might get rejected off of this 200-day, which means it would move downward. You can also see that the center line in the Gaussian channel is actually just about to cross over the 200. Price has traded above the 200-day moving average for a little while, not too long, but it's been up there for a little while. But the first example that we have of this is right here, where the 200 crossed up and over the Gaussian channel center line. Now this really didn't affect the price too much, but the next example is right here. You can see that when the Gaussian channel center line crossed over this, granted it was already falling downward, but once this had crossed over at this point where it was consolidating just a little bit, we had this big drop right here, which was a pretty decent drop from the top to the bottom if you look at it. All in all, it worked out to be about 16%. So if something like that occurred, we could probably expect to see quite a sharp move downward from this point. But it's not guaranteed. This very easily could work the opposite direction, but it's just something to keep your eye on. Now this is the 4-hour chart. What I want you to notice here is that we have what's called a rising wedge pattern right here. It's coming downward. It's been toggling around here within the trend lines. About 90% of the time, these break to the downside, especially when you see things like this. It broke to the upside right here, small fake out. It's also done a small fake out to the downside. It is trading above the 200-day moving average. If this breaks out down below this, what we're going to be looking out for is this to take out this 200-day moving average. Now, if you followed my videos, you know that in regards to my flash crash thesis, I was predicting that price would fall down to this yellow box right here, which is down around 160. But if it doesn't get that low, I was predicting that it would likely come to this fair value gap right here, which is centered about that 186, 187 level. So either here or here. But I wanted to show you this. Generally, when you measure out these rising wedge patterns, this is basically how a lot of traders measure these in order to come up with an estimate of how far it could drop if it falls out of the bottom trend line of this rising wedge. Now what they do is they come up to the first contact. This would be basically the first touch of the upper wedge right here. So we want to take a line from this down to the bottom of this wick right here and move this over here to the breakdown point. Now it's very interesting that that measurement falling out of this wedge right here goes right into that yellow box. As unlikely of a move as this seems, especially at this point in time, but it's also something to look at, to think about, and to consider. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about in regards to rising wedges, here's a basic pattern that I just pulled off the internet for you to look at. Price is falling downward, it bounces off a low, trades up in here, breaks down, comes down to the bottom, takes out the previous low. And you can see that in order to take out this previous pattern low right here, price is going to have to go down to a minimum of about 161 just to get into this yellow box. So that's just another thing to think about. Now here's, for the best part, the XRP breakout chart. This chart has been updated as of May 1st today. We have now formed the 8th candle for the 5th consecutive time on this pattern that is repeated once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and now the 5th time. Each time this happened, a big move happened afterwards, as you can clearly see on the charts. I have been waiting for this for about 11 months now, when this candle was forming right here, because this liquidation candle broke below the lower trend line right here, which, if you've watched my previous videos, is a part of this pattern, because that only happens previous to the breakouts. It happened here, breakout. It happened here, breakout. It did not happen here. It happened here, breakout. And it happened right here again. I was actually on the road doing a job in Eureka, Nevada with a good friend of mine that just lives down the road who I've worked with for many, many years when this candle formed. And I can remember at that time when this candle formed, telling him, because every night going back into the motel room, I was like, man, you got to buy some XRP. You got to check out XRP, bro. You got to look into XRP. It's coming. It's coming. Basically ranting and raving like a madman, which he ended up buying some XRP, and still to this day, he does hold some. But I remember specifically where I was when this candle formed, because I knew something was coming when this happened, because I was in the early stages of creating this chart, and I knew to be looking out for a liquidation candle. But I still hadn't quite put together the fact that we had this 8 candle pattern that played out 4 times till right around here. So I was kind of looking at this chart when I had some time playing around with it. And then one day I looked at it and the pattern just jumped out at me. And I mean, ever since that moment, I couldn't look at this chart without seeing it. But we are finally right here. 8 of the 8 candles have now formed in the repeating 8 candle fair value gap pattern. We are finally here. And as I've said in my previous videos, even if this flash crash thesis doesn't play out, let's say the price just starts moving up in May and just goes ballistic, it doesn't matter if the flash crash thesis is incorrect. What's important is what this chart, the XRP breakout chart, is telling us about the month we are currently in, the month of May, which is the 8th candle of the pattern, which is where we have seen the breakout every single time this pattern has played out. 4 times previous to this, the 5th consecutive time. Now, the flash crash thesis was spawned from the fact that generally before big moves like that, the market makers do everything they can do to suck up every last coin, every little bit of liquidity previous to a big move, because they need to take that liquidity with them. Now, they soak up as much as they can, because as the price is moving up, they're distributing all of the liquidity they've picked up in these lower areas up here. And if you look back on the last time in January when this pattern happened, we broke out 2 months ahead, had this big candle here, slid over, actually came down right here, went below this fair value gap. So everybody who got in for this ride got crushed. Then price moved over for the 8th candle and we saw the breakout. So you can see a lot of these times where they make a big run on that liquidity right before the breakout. See, they tricked everybody right here. Like it started breaking out, everybody chased it. They're like, oh man, this is it. Crushed it. Knocked them all out, liquidated everybody, took out every single person that bought in there. You know, the market makers, the institutions, the hedge funds, they all loaded up right down here. And once they had their positions loaded to the hilt, then price went up. And if you look at the pattern in 2017 when it broke out, 2 months before, dove down like nobody's business, swept the entire pattern of liquidity with the exception of this candle right here. Then price consolidated a bit, went up. Consolidated some more, went up. And I know a lot of people are looking at this pattern right here. They're thinking this is where we are in the pattern. But I still believe we are actually down here in the pattern. I think we're going to see something like this above this. Like this will move up, consolidate, then we'll see another big move up. And I think that this move is going to be comparable to the move we see right here. I won't say any specific numbers because I don't like to do that. But the number I think we're going to see is in the double digits. And if you would like to get a high definition copy of this XRP breakout chart, all you have to do is email me at metashackle@gmail.com. Just put breakout chart in the headline and I will send you a copy absolutely free. As I've stated many times, I'm not here to take from you. I'm here to give you something. And I don't know how many people have a chart of this magnitude. I'm guessing one person. Metashackle, and he's giving away this knowledge absolutely free. If this chart was in anybody else's hands, you would never see this chart because they would not show you this. Nobody in their right mind would show you this chart. They would take advantage of this information, keep it all to themselves. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Please do me a favor and hit the like button, as it doesn't cost you anything and it really helps the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You can also support my work by donating crypto using the link in the More tab. I don't charge anything for my content, and I will never hide my information behind a paywall, and it will always be free. So thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.
Morning, officers. What y'all, the second team?
We're the first team.
Yeah, we're not gonna fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. See, that's more natural for us. You've been hanging out with this dude too long.